On the website for the Swedish state TV, they have pages for all the documentaries they show, summarizing and commenting on the movies. This is what they say about Bowling for Columbine. Moore plunges into the darkest recesses of American society, where alarm systems, bulletproof vests, and guns in the home are commonplace. This movie was shown once in 2005 and once in 2007 on the state TV. Fahrenheit 9/11, quoting the homepage. The outspoken filmmaker Michael Moore investigated President Bush's actions after the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center in New York on September 11, 2001. And Michael Moore's own conclusions on the connections he found between Bush and the wealthy families of Saudi Arabia were embarrassing for supporters of the president during the subsequent election. The movie was shown twice in 2006. Jesus Camp. The state TV describes it this way. The movie gives a unique insight into the intense training at the camp and how these reborn Christian children are raised to be players in the political future of America. Like most children at the camp, he is homeschooled and learns science from a book that connects creationism and science. At the camp, the children participate in emotional prayer sessions with sermons against free abortions and are encouraged to turn toward a picture of President Bush and pray for him and his policies. Shown twice in 2007. Quoting, Why We Fight was the name of a series of propaganda movies Frank Capra made in 1942 and onwards to encourage American effort during World War II. In a documentary with the same name, director Eugene Jarecki has used Capra's movies to comment on the apparent military obsession that defines the world's only superpower. Lee Atwater, who worked with the presidential campaigns of both Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr., is described as the most evil man in America. Even though the material shown on the Swedish state TV has a strong anti-American slant to it, there are parts of America that receive praise on this TV. Namely, the Socialist Republic of Cuba. The praise for this dictatorship reached obscene proportions on the 2nd of December 2006, when the state TV aired a 4-hour-long theme evening on the Cuban Revolution, nothing less than an outright Castro tribute on primetime TV. The theme evening was introduced with the phrase, "On the 2nd of December, Cuba has a dual celebration. Partly Castro's postponed 80th birthday is celebrated, partly the 50th birthday of La Revolución." Included was, among other things, Oliver Stone's movie Comandante, where Stone interviews Castro on every topic under the sun, a movie where he comments a lot on the USA. Also included was parts of an old Swedish-Cuban propaganda movie from 1976 called History Will Declare Me Innocent, where Castro is idealized. As well as a German documentary called Dear Fidel, about a woman who fell in love with Castro. In this movie she also talks about how she fell in love with Venezuela's former dictator Jimenez. In between these movies, the people in the state TV studio relate their own feelings for Castro, how he had inspired them. One woman had this to say: Castro isn't a dictator in the sense the propaganda claims. Like, there is on Cuba a hidden democracy that explains this wonder, that the revolution still lives on. And how does this democracy look? It's very, very hard to explain, but it's simply the case that people can decide on a lot of stuff from below. At no time during the evening was any critical perspective presented. The praises were left unchallenged. This theme evening generated a storm of protests for its obvious bias, when the state TV has a mandate to be objective. Since then, SVT has taken down its homepage for this evening, unlike the ones they keep up for all the other shows, possibly embarrassed by the criticism it generated. The state TV has also praised a couple of other communist revolutionaries, like for example the infamous Che Guevara. A BBC production called Looking for the Revolution chronicles Che's legacy in Bolivia. The TV introduces it with the phrase, "The revolution that Che Guevara started is still in the hands of Evo Morales." Morales rose to power on a campaign of anti-Americanism.
Here is Bolivia, the place where Che Guevara, the most famous revolutionary, died in 1967. My fellow Argentine was captured in the jungle while trying to spark socialism throughout South America. After Che was executed, his body was tied to a helicopter and flown away like a modern Jesus Christ, dying anew for humanity.
But to go back to how this state TV presents the USA. Outfoxed. Quote in the homepage. The channel has turned into a completely immodest propaganda machine for the right wing of the American Republican Party and for President Bush. Yet there is hardly any more biased reporting than Fox in all of the Western TV world. Oh, really? How about the Swedish state TV? In Dokument Utifrån, we review Murdoch's journalistic methods, or rather his method of killing serious journalism. Shut up and sing. During the 2008 American presidential elections, the state TV decided to feature this movie in their election coverage slot, described in this way. A few years ago, Dixie Chicks were the best-selling female artists of all time. But then band member Natalie Maines criticizes President Bush at a concert. This has disastrous consequences and the band is banned almost everywhere. An American documentary from 2006 that follows the band during 3 years when they keep writing music and dare to have children even though they receive death threats. The question is, what does this have to do with the 2008 election? About the only thing that could be read out of it is that the Republicans are nasty people who harass women that speak out on issues, quite the spin from a state TV which has a mandate to be objective. In spite of this mandate, the state TV has offered plenty of airtime for immigrants who want to give their perspectives on Swedish society. During 2008, the state TV had a show called Halal TV, halal being the Muslim term for what's allowed. On this show, 3 Muslim women discuss Swedish society and interview Swedish dignitaries.
Vad händer om svenska tjejer med slöja gör ett program?
Halal, det är det som är rätt. Vi ska göra TV och det måste bli halal.
It's a nice mixture of objective programming you get from the Swedish state TV. It's unbelievable that they make anyone who can receive TV broadcasts pay the license fee. Then again, you can skip paying it like I personally do. I wish I had the same privilege as Mona Sahlin has, though, that I could use the state TV to present my perspective on things while still not paying the license fee.